MongooseJake here with another video, and this one's going to be a little different. It is not an ace tanker, but instead this is actually the battle where I got my third mark in the Ferdinand. Now, the Ferdinand, of course, being one of the older tank destroyers in the German tech tree. This is a tier 8 tank destroyer that is actually based off of the Tiger P, and that's both historically true and is here in the game. The frontal armor of this is shared with the Tiger P on the lower half of the vehicle, which means that it has 200 millimeters of frontal armor across the main section of the lower front. It does have a weaker lower plate, as well as the two little shoulders that you see that are angled from the front. And the superstructure itself has 200 millimeters at the front and is decently angled, as you see on the sides and rear. It means, while not solely reliable if you're sitting still and trading shots at point-blank range, because people can pick out the weak spots, the Ferdinand's armor is pretty good at bouncing shots at range, and if you get hull down. That is, of course, given the fact that hopefully you're top tier and people aren't spamming premium. But regardless of armor or not, the Ferdinand's actually still able to get around pretty well, and as you see there, it's able to smack people around for almost 500 hit points of damage. The 12.8 centimeter gun actually deals an average of 490 with very good accuracy, very good gun handling, and decent reload. It's a very good stable platform for this weapon. Of course, the same weapon's on the RHM, it's on the Scorpion G, it's on the Jag Panther 2, but on the Ferdinand it has the best handling of the bunch. And as you see there, it's a very, very reliable weapon. Doesn't need a whole lot of premium. I carry the 6 rounds, and that's mainly to deal with the super heavies or tier 10s. And I use it sometimes in do or die situations. But as with most of my other videos from this newer channel as well as my older MongooseJake channel, my 3-mark game kind of is more of looking back at what I think of the tank and just kind of reflecting. This game in the end is a win, and let's spoil it right now, and I deal about 2,600 damage. And you're going to get to see some nice shots and typical gameplay as you would expect from a tank destroyer here on the highway map. And overall, it's just a very pleasant vehicle to play with. And I think that that's overlooked. People get too worried about how Scorpion G exists and, same gun on a much more mobile platform. Well, yeah, I have a Scorpion G. I like it just fine. The Ferdinand, however, to me, I like better. The fact it has some armor that can bounce shots, especially at range, makes it a bit flexible in a different way. I mean, sure, the turret and speed of the Scorpion G is very nice. The turret of the RHM is nice. The mobility of the Jag Panther 2 is good. But out of all the tier 8 tank destroyers that are available, whether premium or regular tech tree, I personally just like the Ferdinand the best overall. It's a very well-rounded vehicle, regardless of your personal playstyle, regardless of the map, regardless of the tier placement. It can sometimes be a shoe-in for an assistant to your team's heavies. It has the armor. It has extra hit points compared to its counterparts. And, of course, having a weapon that hits people for 500 damage with very good penetration, accuracy, and handling is always something that people are willing to respect. So you can make trades with things like IS-3s and come out on top. You don't have to be snipey, but as you can see here, the Ferdinand is more than capable of being the long-range support sniper. And that's a nice combination. And my enjoyment of this vehicle is a big part of why I decided to go ahead and do the effort required to 3-mark a vehicle. And Skill for LTU, I think, put out the best video on 3 marking tanks. you have to play at your best. You have to look for every possible moment to get shots in every game. You cannot be relaxed. And yes, you see me hanging back, and it's more of a relaxed gameplay, but I have to keep my gun hot and firing. Even if it's just a risky snapshot, you gotta keep firing the weapon at all times. Like there. Yeah, I could have let it aim for a half a second, but flinging the shot is better, and then I gotta get moving so I can land a shot on this FV 4202. Take him out. And then instead of sitting back and being content with, hey, it's a 9-3 game, it's gonna most likely be a win. No, you gotta hit that W key and get driving forward, looking for more damage. Because right now, I'd like to get at least another shot or two in, if I can. And this right here is where something like a Scorpion G would be better. They could have done what I did. The handling on the gun's not quite as good, and I don't care what the paper statistics say. I don't care what Wargaming has listed. Having played both of them many, many games, the Ferdinand is much better on snapshots with less bloom, and even on fully settled in, fully aimed shots, the Ferdinand will hit more than a Scorpion G. It's just how it works. And that's playing with the exact same crew, transferred back and forth between the two of them. But the Ferdinand is an old, kind of stalwart vehicle from the ancient days of World of Tanks, before anything was HD and before you had the great matchmaking that we do have today. And yeah, you heard that right. I actually think we have great matchmaking. I have seen so many people complain about it, but after you've been the only tier 6 vehicle in a game, like I was talking about with my wife I remember one game before they made matchmaking changes in my Nashorn after it had just came out. In my Nashorn, I was sitting there on Melanovka as the only tier 6 in a otherwise pure tier 8 battle. That actually happened. And I wasn't complaining then. I love my Nashorn, as anybody who's watched this channel or my previous one has ever seen. And let's watch this wheeled vehicle overextend. Oh, he could have easily circled me, but nope. He drove on past. Now he's going to die. It's like, bye-bye, little EBR. And as I said, this is definitely going to be a win. I'm going to try to sneak in one more shot right here. There we go. I'm not going to get any more shots on the EBR, but he is going to die. But yeah, it's like this tank is kind of a relic, and I still love the thing. And even going all the way back to those days. But yeah, this is my third mark. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you didn't mind me rambling along as I reflect back on an old vehicle that I still think is very capable today. And hopefully you look forward to the next video. But this is MongooseJake saying thanks for watching.